Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan Miller here from Ryan Miller Yoga. I'm a yoga teacher here on YouTube. And in this video, I'll be reviewing Tom Brady's book, The TB12 Method, How to Achieve a Lifetime of Sustained Peak Performance. I am from New England, so I am biased in this review. I have watched Tom Brady throughout his professional career, so his success is certainly going to bias me towards believing in his method because I've seen him do so well throughout the course of his career. Now, the reason I wanted to do this review is, number one, I'm interested in what he has to say and how he's achieved his success for such a long period of time when many football players don't do that. Tom's 41, which is one of the oldest players in the league. So it's very impressive to see what he's done. And secondly, there's a lot of negative press in the media about Tom's method and about his trainer and about, different things he says in the book. He got a lot of criticism for recommending that people drink water. So I thought that was kind of curious. So all that negativity made me really curious, made me want to dive in and read the book myself. So you can see it's a pretty large book, but there's not a ton of substance in here, as much as that pains me to say it because I love Tom Brady. There's a lot of full page photos in here. There's a lot of recipes, green juice recipe, just a lot of big pictures. It's a coffee table book. A lot of recipes and a lot of exercises in here as well with pictures. So really, the whole second half of the book is just photos of different exercises, brief description on how to do it, a lot of resistance band stuff in here, which I think is great. But really, the meat of the book is really just about this much, and the rest is fluff. So probably could have expected that coming from a professional athlete. But yeah, nice big book, quality photos. Anyways, in terms of the crux of the book, there's 12 main principles that he talks about as part of the TB12 method. Of course, his jersey number is 12, so he picked 12 things. The main one that he talks about is pliability. And he refers to pliability as your muscles' ability to be long and soft. So a lot of people, their muscles, when they train different sports, it's about getting tight and about getting strong. And what that can do is it can lead to injury because when you get hit, you can't absorb the shock as well. So Tom goes through great lengths to ensure that his muscles they have the ability to stretch and be long, but also remain soft and relaxed as they're doing that. So it's kind of a paradox. So the pliability piece, the way he achieves that is, he'll flex the muscles as his trainer is basically massaging into the muscle to get that muscle to contract while it's staying relaxed. So pretty interesting concept, similar to yoga in the sense that when we do yoga poses, we think about lengthening, but we're always thinking about relaxing as well. So I found that to be very similar and very counter to a lot of traditional strength and conditioning training, where it's about lifting weights and basically getting your muscles stronger to be able to support your structure. This belief is that by having your muscles able to be long but also be relaxed, they'll be able to absorb shock better, which will hopefully lead to reduced injury. So the pliability piece from the book I found very interesting. So the second principle he talks about is that the TB12 method is holistic. Everything he does in training works with the rest of his life. So for example, steroids, when you take steroids as a football player, it doesn't help the rest of your life. That just helps you as a football player. So Tom's diet, his hydration habits, all his training, physical training, all of that takes into account his father, he's a husband, all these different things. So his training program is holistic, which again is very similar to yoga. It's not just about training and doing your yoga to get better at yoga. It's about making your navigation through life a little bit easier and more efficient. Then he talks about balance and moderation, kind of a common sense thing, but for many people, they overdo it with athletics, so a good reminder there. After that, he talks about endurance and vitality. This is one thing that I think runners could pay attention to because a lot of runners seem to lose their vitality with the excessive endurance training. So the holistic piece and that vitality piece go together. You want to do your training in a way that's going to give you energy throughout your day. So if you go to class or go to work, your training's not taken away from that. It's enhancing that. It's making you more focused, more relaxed, etc. Another interesting piece was no load strength training. So body weight stuff, resistance band stuff. Tom believes that doing too much weights can overload you, lead to problems, lead to injuries. So he does a lot of no load strength training. And he does talk about in the book training in a way that's very specific for the tasks you'll be asking your body to accomplish. So he talks about, a wide receiver may not need to do tons of heavy bench press, but an offensive lineman might, because they need that ability to push and be strong this way, whereas a wide receiver needs to maintain the flexibility to make the acrobatic catches and quick movements and things like that. So really what he's saying in the book is make sure you're training for the activities that your body's going to be asked to do. And that's a little bit different for everybody. And then another key point, and this is something that came up in the media as well, is anti-inflammatory. So playing football, he's getting hit all the time. That creates a lot of inflammation in the body. So with the diet and lifestyle, he's always looking to reduce that inflammation. And then another thing, this is similar to yoga, oxygen-rich blood. So he talks about things you can do to make sure that your body is, your blood has oxygen in it and it's going to where it needs and being able to be utilized. Talked a little bit about oxygenation of the blood in my breathing video. Be talking about that a little bit more in some upcoming videos, just the concept of most people have enough oxygen in their blood already, so it's not about getting more in, it's about getting it where it needs to go and getting your body comfortable with the CO2 and other gases that help you take that oxygen from the blood and utilize it in the muscles. So it's interesting he brought that up as well. He's got three that I'm just going to combine: hydration, nutrition, and supplementation. Those probably all could have been one, but in order to get to the TB12 method, he probably split them up for that reason. The hydration, he took a lot of heat on from the media. Basically, he recommends drinking water with electrolytes. There was at least 12 articles that I saw warning people that drinking too much water can kill you. These are the same people who endlessly promote pills, beer, pizza, fast food, junk food, are the ones warning you that too much water can kill you, which it can, because it can deplete electrolytes. There are stories of a couple marathon runners and football players who drank a couple gallons of water in 15 minutes and depleted all their electrolytes and died. And it's very sad. I'm not making light of what happened, but it's just not frequent enough to have. I think there was more articles warning people about the deaths from drinking too much water as there were deaths from drinking too much water. And not a lot of articles warning people about the dangers of alcohol, pills, fast food, etc. So the hydration, he took a lot of heat for. Me personally, I think hydration is great. I think drinking water is extremely necessary. Electrolytes are great as well. Runners know this. Many people do not, so something to look into. And then nutrition is something that he also gets made fun of a lot. There's sort of this narrative out there that Tom Brady's nutrition doesn't matter. That's not what helped him. He was just this super talented genetic freak. In fact, he's probably the least athletically talented player in the NFL. Compared to the general public, I get it. He's super athletic. He's top 0.01% of the population in terms of genetics and athleticism. But compared to some of these other quarterbacks who came into the league, played 3-4 years and get injured, or they're never the same, it's just he's not as talented as them. He came in, he was laughed at. His 40 time was laughed at. His shirtless photo at the draft was laughed at, and he's always been looked at as one of the least athletic players in the NFL, which is why I believe that all this extra stuff he's doing is what's helping lead him to his 2 decades worth of success. I mean, he's about to play in his 9th Super Bowl, and if they win, it'll be his 6th Super Bowl victory. So, there's got to be something in this book you can pull from and take from and learn from. Another cool thing he talks about in the book is brain exercises. So training the brain to be more focused, more alert. I found this absolutely fascinating. This is one of those things that's not talked about nearly enough. People train the body, but they don't really train the mind, and especially runners. Runners are actually taught run mindless. Just go run. Don't think about it. Don't think about what you're doing. Talk to your friends. Have a conversation. Don't focus on your form. Don't focus on your competitors. Just run your time, run your splits, and that's it. And that's sort of the strategy with a lot of distance runners. With the TB12 method, we're talking about training your brain, training your focus. So there's different things you can do on the computer and all types of different games and activities you can do to strengthen your brain's ability to take in feedback quickly and help you react to that feedback that your brain is taking in. So really cool. And then at the end of it, it's talking about brain rest, recentering, and recovery. So again, very similar to what we were talking about in yoga. You go through your training, you work your mind, and then it's always very critical and important to do a recentering and a recovery piece. So I really appreciated that he included that in the book as well. So those are the 12 things he talked about. Like I said, the pliability I thought was pretty interesting. The brain exercises were interesting. The nutritional stuff is really, it's very similar to Ayurveda, is how he's recommended eating. Eating seasonal, eating nuts, seeds, fruit, grains, a little bit of meat, maybe 1 to 2 meals per day. He'll have a little bit of meat, but not overdoing it with the pizza and fast food and junk food, stuff like that. So that stuff was pretty common sense, but the pliability and the brain exercises I thought were really interesting. And overall, I just wanted to get this video out there, get it up on YouTube so we can see sort of, it's not crazy, it's really common sense stuff. Just because Sports Illustrated and ESPN run an article saying how crazy it is and how silly it is that he's recommending drinking water, it's nutrition is serious, and I don't need to get into all the stats and all the problems we have in this country. Everyone knows it, So when you're sitting there watching the commercials of the fast food and the beer and the pills, and you're reading the articles where they're mocking, someone being healthy, it's something to think about. It really is. Think about your health. Think about your kids' health, and read the book. See if you can learn something. All right, I'll catch you on the next one. Go Pats.